Alright, Mr. Butterbean. Here's your culprit right here. It's the voltage dividing resistor for the bias circuit. When that bad boy goes out, you got pretty much full voltage going to these pills for the bias. Where are they at? This thing's zoomed in on me. These two. So these two pills are gone. So it's going to leave you with two DEIs. So technically, man, you need 4 new transistors. I don't use DEIs. Mr. Butterbean, thanks for hanging in there with me, brother. I know this took forever. So here's what happened. Which I see this happening with these Texas stores all the time, and I've been thinking of a solution to keep this from happening in the future. And this is actually a nice test so far. God dang it. I think I done threw away the resistor now. Yeah, I think I did. Let me demonstrate here and show you what I'm talking about. Right here on the voltage divider circuit for the bias, you have 12 volts or 15 volts, whatever your B plus is, that flows from this. It comes in from up under the board, then goes through this resistor, flows to this wire over to this sandbar resistor down here. And basically it's just the most simplest voltage divider circuit you can think of. It goes to this 25 ohm resistor, and then it will have a 1.6 ohm resistor from here to ground. This is a voltage divider circuit, which will leave you with about right there about 0.68, 0.66 volts that goes to the base of the transistors. Now, I don't exactly know what causes this, but I've seen it happen so many times, and it's catastrophic, because the second it happens, the transistors will blow instantly. The resistor that Texas Star uses from here shunted to ground is a 1/4 watt resistor, same size as this resistor right here. And that's what happened with yours. This resistor had blown and had popped these 2 transistors, and from keying that like that, had damaged these 2 as well. It brought the HFE values down pretty dang low. So in the past, I've just replaced it and fixed the pills, this and that and this and that. I don't know exactly what causes that resistor to get overloaded like that. Well, I know what makes it, of course, is a resistor, too much current should be shunt to ground, but I don't know what operating conditions causes that to happen. So I didn't actually, I wanted to play around with some 2 watt resistors, but I didn't have any 1.6 ohm 2 watts, but I had some 1.5 ohm 5 watts. Now, I'll tell you one thing, these puppies will never blow with this circuit. It's impossible. And I may start actually modifying every Texas Star I come across with at least 2 watts. I'm gonna order me some 1.6 ohm 2 watts. So I went ahead and replaced both of those resistors with 2 5 watt 1.5 ohms. It lowered the bias just a little bit too, which is fine, and gave you a set of real high gain brand new 4 brand new HGs. I went around here and just cleaned up a little bit, but that's pretty much all we needed to do to it. So yep, I don't think I had to do anything else to it. She's working great. Good low input reflect. Everything's working back like it was. 500 watt slug, BEP. Go off the scale. Input 5 watt slug. Go. Beautiful. That's on high. Put her on medium, and then of course you can control the variable. Go little bit under 400. All right. I know you sent your radio as well. And I'll be honest with you, I don't quite remember why. Hope to God the radio don't need no work. But I had actually forgot about this, but we modified your Texas Star so you could run your radio off of it. I think this is the first time I've ever done that with a Texas Star before. I had forgot that I did it until I looked at this. So I'm gonna get the top put on here and hook your radio up and see what she's doing first, and then drive the amp with it. I'll be right back. Alrighty, man, it's a pretty strong radio. You can tell it's a dual final for sure. So Galaxy DX 55 HP. This must be one of the newer ones. So anyway, here's what the radio's doing. We got a 25 watt slug with the RF power turned all the way down. Just the top scale is doing about 2.5 watts all the way down. It'd be nice if you could turn that thing down to like 1 watt, but you know, it is what it is. So you got about 2.5 watts dead key all the way down, and all the way up got about 6 watts all the way up. All right, here's the RMS. That's about 17 or so, 17, 18. That's a monster, man. It's a nice radio. That's doing about what my derail, my big derail right there does. That does about 16 watts RMS, but it's a single final. All the way down. About 12 watts all the way down. We're going to see how it interacts with the amplifier. And PEP wise, it's doing over 25 watts, of course. I need to get me a good 100 watt slug that I can rely on. All right, brother, here's the deal. The dead key is a bit too high for my taste. Now, you know, everybody's going to run their amps the way they see fit, but it's my job just to give you the absolute safest possible way to run. You know, this radio is pretty strong for what it is. You know, now don't get me wrong. There's people that run 4 pills out there that run a 200 watt dead key and let them swing up. I'm personally not one of those guys. I like the dead key 100 max on a 4 pill. And that's just my personal opinion. Now, good thing is when you take your RF power and turn it all the way down with the amp on high, you are dead keying a little bit more than 100 watts. And that is swinging about 280 RMS. Okay. Well, turn the voltage up just a little. Yeah, about 300 RMS. That is pushing it a little bit. Should be fine like that. But if you want to be extra safe, you can put in the medium, lead the variable all the way up. You should never even have to use this variable unless you're using this as a driver. That then turns your dead key to about 50 or so watts. A little bit more than 200 watts RMS. And you're still over 500 watts peak. So that right there is what I recommend for you. Try not to get that dead key over 100 if you can help it. And of course, you know, if somebody was using a 1 pill driver, you know, they would possibly be over 100 watts, but it's all about the drive, man, when it comes to these things. You know, too much will wear them out. You know, HGs aren't Toshibas, but as long as you don't overdrive them, they're very kind to you. And you got to remember too, these are Texas Stars. They're not a Class C homebrew build that can take a little bit more punishment. These things are biased. Okay, so you're good up to 15.2 if you have to do it. I've got the bias set now to where it's a little bit lower, so a higher voltage is not going to take that bias up above 0.7. So you're good with that. So you're back up and running, man. Cool little radio. I like it. I didn't hear no noise coming out of it. I don't have my antenna hooked up at the moment, but you may have the internal speaker disconnected. I'm not too sure. But it's a nice little radio. Wouldn't mind getting me one day. All right, again, man, thank you so much for hanging in there with me. This took a lot longer than I anticipated, but we got you back up and running with 4 fresh, brand new transistors. Now, one other thing I did notice is this power switch seems like it's a little iffy at times. Sometimes you turn it on and the lamp doesn't come on, and sometimes it does. With these newer Texas Star, the switches aren't as good quality as the latest ones. And but it is not. If that happens, the amp is still working, but I just kind of wanted to point that out. It's working now. I just noticed a while ago, and the time before that, and all right, bud. Just wanted to point that out. We'll see ya. GK said it. I'm gone. On to the next one.